Good afternoon. It is exactly 4 p.m. here in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for keeping it TV47, your home of untold stories. You're just in time for news now at 4 with I, Sheilar, Chelangat. But first, the highlights. The highlights. Detectives have raided the Trans Nzoia home of Governor George Natembeya, even as the DCI continues grilling the outspoken county boss over alleged corruption linked to procurement irregularities. A group of Kenyan activists, including former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, has been deported from Tanzania. The delegation had traveled to offer solidarity with detained opposition figure Tundu Lissu. And outspoken Mumias East MP Peter Salasia has been charged with hate speech a day after his dramatic arrest. He was produced in court this morning and released on bail pending further hearings. All right, thank you for joining. The 15 minutes of this bulletin begins now. We begin with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is addressing the press at his current residence. Let's cross over and listen in.
That there are existing guidelines from the High Court that officers should be in uniform and not conceal their identity. At about 2:30 p.m., we received further intelligence from the deployed patriotic officers who are not in agreement with the information that they had clear instructions to plant arms and weapons in our convoy to provide evidence to arrest us and get evidence that they could charge us with in court. After about 30 minutes, the killer squad was joined by their counterparts who are highly trained in the use of biological weapons. Their instructions were to poison me through inhaled chemicals that would paralyze my brain within 3 months. This was the intent and the purpose of the whole operation. My team and I sought alternative routes as guided by the deployed security personnel, majority of whom are our supporters and opposed to what is going on. We have credible information that President Ruto has directed that my private security personnel be disarmed and be targeted for withdrawal of their licenses, so that they can leave me vulnerable to allow room for goons to attack and possibly eliminate me. President William Ruto has expressed ungovernable anger that the state-sponsored goons are being overpowered by my private security personnel who are licensed gun holders. President Ruto is furious that the people of Kenya have not forgotten about the Kiambaa church massacre, where children and women were tortured in the 2007 and /8 post-election violence, and is unhappy that I keep on reminding the people of Kenya of the heinous act. I want to say that although Kenyans forgive each other, they cannot forget this, and there is nothing the president can do about it. The president was also utterly livid that I exposed his grabbing of 5-acre piece of land inside Gong Forest, where he intends to put a private hotel. About my statement on post-election violence, this was a precautionary statement and not incitement. It is based on historical facts and past electoral experiences of 1992, 1997 and 2007 controversial elections, that we must have a free and fair election in 2027. It is my civic duty as a leader to remind the IEBC, all agencies and institutions charged with election management, that they must deliver free, fair, verifiable, and credible election. I have heard the CS Interior and other pretenders to the throne claim that they will not allow political violence. I urge them to walk the talk. Since November 2024, political violence of great magnitude has been meted on me, my family, and my supporters. Not a single case has been prosecuted. For instance, on 28th November 2024, at a solemn funeral service in Limuru, Kiambu County, I was attacked by organized criminal gangs under police escort. On 28th December 2024, in Shamata, Nyandarua, an inspector of police flanked by criminal gangs, threw tear gas canisters at me. On 23rd March 2025, at ACK St. Peter's Cathedral in Nyeri, my convoy was attacked at a church compound by a known criminal gang under police escort. On 29th March 2025 in Naivasha town, we were attacked by the police. On 6th April 2025, at a church service in Mwik, PCA, hooded goons attacked us inside the church. We dismiss with contempt the loose talk by CS Interior that during the DCP party unveiling, where goons dared to cause chaos were fighting for handouts from us. These were state-sponsored, but fortunately, they were overpowered by security personnel and supporters. The CS has given instructions that instead of arresting the said goons, they disarm my security personnel to give goons free access to me and my supporters in future occasions. Let it be known that our party, DCP, has organic support, and we do not pay supporters to attend our meetings the way the government is doing to people to attend their meetings. Finally, let me assure the planners of this violence that you will not stop the cause of the people of Kenya. The one-term movement and the DCP party popularity will not be stopped and will not be slowed down. The cause to liberate Kenya is not about Rigathi Gachagua. All the leaders with me. Wasting time and resources to stop me is a zero-sum game. The people of the Republic of Kenya have said that lies must stop, roads must be built, corruption must stop, abductions and extrajudicial killings must stop, education and health systems must work. They are some of the things that are making the people of Kenya restless. We are putting our supporters on high alert that they have the right to express their frustrations if injustice is meted on us. My supporters and I will not be cowed or intimidated by the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. The drama of waylaying us on roads should be stopped. If the government knows that I have committed a crime known under the laws of Kenya and identified in the penal code, they know all my homes. And I'm here. They know my Wamanyoro home. They don't need to waylay me on the road. Let them just come here, and if we have committed a crime, they can come and arrest me and take whatever action that they want to take. That is the end of the statement. Iko swali? Yes. Yes. I have not been summoned by anybody, and I'm waiting if there is any summon. What happened is that they wanted to plant weapons in my convoy, and they wanted to use chemicals so that they can paralyze our brain the way they did to Kenneth Matiba. And that is why we had to take an alternative route to get here. I would have wished they came here instead of wailing us on the road and using those dreaded criminals who are responsible for abductions and extrajudicial killings. And that squad works under the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. It's 101 officers who are recruited from the administration police, and they have been given special training by the National Intelligence Service, and they are responsible for the abductions and extrajudicial killings. And that is the squad that had been planned yesterday and mobilized so that they can incapacitate me and my people. Yes. Report to who? These are the same people who want to kill me. How do you report to the people who are planning to poison your mind so that the brain can be paralyzed and then you become a vegetable? I cannot report. And I wrote to the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigations. Instead of answering the issues I had raised, told me to report to the next police station. Yet all these things have happened under the cover of the police. So it is useless to go and report to the police. That is why I'm talking to the people of Kenya, so that if anything happens to me, President William Ruto must be held accountable. And I want to say, When they hounded me out of office, I pleaded with my supporters to stay calm.
All right, we will be getting more of that story in our 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. bulletins. Let's cross the borders to Tanzania, where Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu appeared at the Kisutu Resident Magistrates Court in Dar es Salaam for the first time since his arrest last month on treason and false information charges. Lissu, who leads the Chadema party, arrived under tight security. Prosecutors allege his recent speech incited rebellion and aimed to disrupt upcoming elections. If convicted, Lissu faces a possible death sentence. His legal team insists the charges are politically motivated and part of a broader crackdown on opposition voices. The case has drawn regional attention, particularly after Kenyan activists, including Martha Karua, were deported while attempting to attend the trial.
I'm so happy you are here. How is my good friend, the Chief Justice? I'm told you were stand away yesterday. I'm so happy you are here. And thank you for the solidarity. All the best. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, and still on this same story, Kenyan human rights activists, including former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, Hussein Khalid and Hanifa Adan, were detained early Monday morning at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The trio had traveled to Tanzania to observe court proceedings involving Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu, who faces treason charges. However, they were stopped by authorities, held for several hours, and later deported. Their detention comes just a day after PLP party leader Martha Karua and 2 associates were similarly denied entry and deported after reportedly enduring lengthy interrogations. Tanzanian officials are yet to comment on the incidents, which have sparked condemnation from Kenyan leaders and human rights groups, citing violation of the East African Community Protocols and rising repression on dissent.
Prison. We have been stopped here at the airport. Right now we are at Dar es Salaam airport. They've taken our passports. They've told us to wait aside.
Identify yourselves! Identify yourselves! Let me Henry. Thank you. Let me Henry. No, I don't give my voice. I'm your guest. I'm going to be left in your hotel. I'm your guest. No. Who are they? Identify.
And back to the country, the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, has charged Mumia East MP Peter Salasia with hate speech under the National Cohesion and Integration Act. Salasia is accused of publishing remarks on his X account that could incite ethnic hatred. Prosecutor Stella Oyagi told the court the offense occurred on May 10, 2025 at an undisclosed location in Kenya. The MP pleaded not guilty before Principal Magistrate Peter Mutai and was released on a surety bond of 400,000 Kenyan shillings or cash bail of 200,000 Kenyan shillings. The case will be mentioned again on June 4th for further direction. And into the world of sports, the four-ball team of Nicholas Korir, Leonard Kiplangat, Munga Marisoy and Benson Magolo were crowned overall winners of the 7th leg of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour at the Kericho Golf Club. Their team posted a combined 104 points. The runners-up Bill Kalia, Ben Kalia, Judy Chebon and Deborah Koskei scored 103 points. Both teams will represent Kericho at the grand finale in December. In individual play, Julius Rono returned 38 Stableford points to edge Franklin Kiplimo via countback journalist Tobias Meso scored 37 points to win in the men's category. Dorothy Koech triumphed in the ladies category with 35 points.
Actually a privilege to win this tournament, which was really tough and challenging. And actually it went well, the turnout was good, and the numbers were really good for the KCB tournament. It's all about the preparing and the train. We have to do the maybe the practice we have to really sharpen our skills and all that. Then at least we can perform well. We are hopeful that we are going to perform well.
And Brighton Albion hosts Premier League champions Liverpool at the Amex Stadium tonight after a 6-match. All right, that concludes News Now at 4 with Sheilar. Chelangat. More of those stories in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Do enjoy the rest of your viewership. Good afternoon.